Hey, Facebook! Tiffany here, hanging out down in Clydemoran Park. It's amazing today. Sun's out. It's time to get my tan on. I'm hanging out with that guy in the background. So today I want to talk about what I learned from being a know-it-all, and it's probably not what you expect. Before we get started though, while we wait for Facebook to notify people to jump on here, I just wanted to tell you I have been working on a new plan. Well, I've been revamping a program that I already have, and that's why I've kind of been quiet. I have been putting the pieces of that together. And for people who are a founding member in my program, the Limitless League, they are about to get a whole bunch of extras from me, a whole bunch more time, training, how-tos, worksheets, things to really help people overcome and get unstuck in their life. So if you want to be a founding member and not have to pay any additional for that other than $7 a month, you're gonna get things like a daily podcast from me, weekly how-to videos, weekly NLP trainings, weekly coaching with me, so that you can have access to me once a week to talk about anything that's going on for you, any challenges that life is throwing up your way. You can get all of that for $7 a month. Just go to removemylimits.com. If somebody can pop that in the comments for me, that would be amazing. So I woke up this morning. I'm reading a really interesting book right now called Leadership and Self-Deception. And I am a highly self-aware person. In fact, I've been told on numerous occasions I'm probably too hard on myself. And yet this book is blowing my mind. So I'm going to have some more videos on that as I continue to read it. So I did a little bit of reading this morning, and then I went on Facebook to post my morning post. And I was looking at some of the posts that other people put up, and I could see that there's a lot of people on social media, and I'm sure that you have experienced this, where people will argue with you for the sake of arguing, or they will attempt to demonstrate their extreme intelligence, their extreme knowledge, their whatever, however they are better than you, however they are smarter than, have more experience than, whatever more than you they are, in an attempt to validate themselves. And I was looking at these posts this morning, and I've been in a place of deep self-reflection lately, and looking at the intention behind why people do things. And I recognize this know-it-all behavior as needing self-validation, or wanting other people to jump in and validate you on the comments that you're making, to essentially tear somebody else down in some way, or be negative to somebody else in some way. And I recognize that as a need for self-validation. And the reason that I recognize that is because I used to be a know-it-all. In fact, if you ask my dad, he will tell you that there was nothing that I didn't know, especially when I was in high school and in college. I knew absolutely everything. There was not something that you couldn't tell me where my response wasn't, I know. The problem with that is that it stopped me from learning. It stopped me from truly growing and being open to new experiences, new points of view, new ways of doing things that maybe were better than the way that I was doing them. I've always been a highly efficient person, so I just assumed that my way of doing things was the best way, except that maybe it wasn't. I don't actually know, because I can't go back in time now and relive those moments and learn those things again. When we say I know, we actually shut off our unconscious mind to taking on new information, because the unconscious mind doesn't know the difference between know, K-N-O-W, and know, N-O. What it hears is no, and so it shuts off to taking in any of that information. It also tells the other person that we don't really want to hear what they're telling us, so just shut up and stop talking. So when we are in that place of knowing it all, it limits our ability to be coachable. It limits our ability to learn new things. Maybe the thing that the person is telling me isn't more efficient than the way that I'm doing it, or maybe I genuinely do know what they're already telling me, and I can still learn a new perspective on it. I can still learn a new analogy to share with people, because the analogies that I have right now may not resonate with everybody that I come across. And so by being open to hearing other people's experiences, hearing other people's points of view, and hearing what other people have learned on their journey through life, that actually makes me more open to taking on new information, and it moves me into what we call a beginner's mindset. And in a beginner's mindset, there is more possibility and there is far more options than we have when we become the expert. There's a quote, I'm going to butcher it, this is not word for word. There's a quote out there that says, in the beginner's mind, there's many options, and in the expert's minds, there's few. And so when we become the expert in something, we actually limit ourselves. And so the reason that I'm telling you this is because I don't want you to be a know-it-all. And if you feel compelled to to take time out of your day to write on somebody else's post something that is telling them that they're wrong in some way, or that because they don't match with your opinion or what you've learned or the information that you're currently holding, that they are wrong in some way, ask yourself, turn that time that you would take writing on that person's post and ask yourself, what is my intention behind this? If you truly want to understand that person more, then you won't be framing it up as you're wrong, and you'll just be asking questions to learn more. If you are framing it up as you're wrong and I'm right and you need to listen to me, ask yourself, sit with it and ask yourself, what is the purpose of that? I know for me personally, when I was a know-it-all, that was the way that I stopped myself from being bullied again. I was bullied growing up in elementary and junior high. Some dude's making a whole lot of noise behind me. But I was bullied growing up, and so by being a know-it-all, I couldn't be embarrassed. I couldn't look stupid because nobody actually knew what I knew. And in doing so, in protecting my self-worth and my confidence, the little bit that I had at the time, I actually closed myself off from connecting with people and from learning new things. So I want you to really discover your self-worth, and not through some manufactured form of validation. I want you to truly find that self-worth that you have in you. And right now you can get it for $7 a month. That's it. Like, don't buy Starbucks one day of the month, and you can have access to me on multiple levels for $7 a month. So head over to removemylimits.com. That's removemylimits.com. If somebody can pop that into the comments for me, that would be fantastic. Crystal, Lauren, Josh, thank you so much for jumping on here. There was a couple other people that jumped on here. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment or shoot me a direct message, and I would be happy to help. As I said, if you go to removemylimits.com before Friday and sign up for $7 a month, you are going to get founding members status, which means all the stuff that I'm about to add on, you are going to get at absolutely no extra cost. After Friday, it's going to cost a little bit more than that. There will still be a $7 a month option, but for all the added bonuses, you're going to have to pay a little bit more. That's it for me. I'm going to go do some more work and enjoy the sun. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.